Good afternoon. I'm Alan Unell, and this series of videos is Healthcare Advocacy, where we face problems in the healthcare system and then take actions to try and make a better system for all of us. Today we're going to be talking about the preponderance, the overflow of marijuana in the United States and how Republicans help make that happen. But before we do, down below in the YouTube description box, you'll find a link to the Healthcare Advocacy newsletter, which has all of the references and background material and actions and studies. It's all in there. You can subscribe, of course, for free. And let's get started. First, before we get to the lead topic, let me talk about a heart pump issue. This is kind of a warning. There is a troubled heart pump that has now been linked to 49 deaths and dozens of injuries worldwide. It's going to be allowed to remain in use in the United States despite the Food and Drug Administration's decision to issue an alert about the risk that it could puncture the wall of a heart. The tiny Impella pumps, about the width of a candy cane, are threaded through blood vessels to take over the work of the heart in patients who are undergoing very complex procedures or who have life-threatening conditions. There's a link to a New York Times news article about it. In addition, the FDA's classification of its March 21st alert as the most serious type of recall, the pumps will remain on the market. Amazing. Biomed, the device's manufacturer, has issued new instructions to physicians on their proper usage and how to carefully position the catheter and use imaging when turning it during procedures. If you're a doctor, go reread the instructions. Okay, let's talk about Republicans and marijuana, strange bedfellows. A coalition of 22 state attorneys general is now calling on Congress to address the glaring vagueness that has led to legal cannabis products being sold over the counter and across the country, including sometimes from vending machines or online. A letter dated March 20th addresses the consequences of Republican lawmakers' choice to legalize hemp production in the 2018 Omnibus Farm Bill, a decision that perhaps inadvertently led to a multi-billion-dollar market in intoxicating cannabis products that are arguably now federally legal. You'll find a link to the news article from The Hill detailing the story. All I have to say is Ocherov. Now, that's Armenian, and you can look it up, or send me a note in the comment box or at Healthcare Advocacy 1, and I'll tell you what it means. Let's talk about Medicaid unwinding. A year has gone past. It's a year since we started. Since we started the unwinding of Medicaid. You may or may not remember, but during the pandemic, Medicaid was expanded. More people were put on the program to keep more people healthy, to keep the general population healthy, and there was no need to reapply for Medicaid each year. Just keep people insured. Well, after 12 months, states have completed eligibility checks for about 2/3 of the record 94 million people enrolled in Medicaid and the related Children's Health Insurance Program last April. So far, 19.2 million people have been removed from the rolls, while 40.6 million have had their coverage renewed. This is according to the Kaiser Family Foundation Unwinding Tracker, and of course there's a link to it. Across the country, 70% of all those disenrollments have been for procedural reasons, such as failing to return paperwork rather than confirming eligibility. However, there are significant variations among the states. Nevada and New Mexico, for instance, have a procedural termination rate of 93%, super high. Maine, at the other end of the spectrum, is down at 22% of its Medicaid beneficiaries being removed for procedural reasons. Look, all of this stinks on ice. You know what the real answer is. It's universal single-payer health care like H.R. 3421. If you're not too busy, get on the phone, tell your member of Congress to support it. Over half of the Democratic representatives in the Congress are co-sponsors. Let's move this thing through. All right, that's what I've got for you today. Down below, you can like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to put comments down there. I will do my best to answer them. Or you can send them to me at healthcareadvocacy1, all one word, @gmail.com. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.